Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's V8 Volt. Today we are going to work on the C6 and I have a special mod today. So today we're going to install the AEM Air to fuel ratio gauge. I will get this car tuned here soon remotely, and I do need a wideband, so that's checked off the list. Second is that I would like to mount it in a different spot than a traditional people. A lot of people in these Corvettes like to mount it on the very left side of the dash, where you have the HUD display options, like a little pod gauge, which it looks all cool, it looks nice, looks clean, but I want it to be different on this install, so that's why I'm making this video. I've never seen on these Corvettes where they mounted on the armrest. So when I say armrest, I'm referring to the empty slot on my C6 And I say that because on this car, it doesn't come equipped with the magnetic ride suspension. So if you go in here, you can see there's an empty spot right there. So we're gonna drill into that today, so I can install the gauge in there. So come along with me on this install, and I'm gonna set you up on the very side of the window. I'll be right back. All right, before we get started, we will need a drill set, one of this. I don't have a traditional drill bit. I have an impact drill. So on this one, it has a hex head. Thanks to Jeremy again. He was able to let me borrow this today. And I have all the sets. I bought this today at Harbor Freight. It was not that expensive, it was $15. And it has all the different sizes that you need to make the whole saw set. Pretty nice. So what I need now is the impact driver, which we have right here. So you need an impact driver or a drill itself. Saw set here, whatever you call this. And then for me, I needed the adapter so that it can fit. No issue there. So we'll get started. All right, so what I'm gonna have to do first, I'm gonna have to disconnect the gauge. And this is the idea. So we want the gauge to be right here centered, so that it looks clean. It looks like if it was OEM. So that's the goal. So first, I'm gonna disconnect these two pods here. I'm gonna have to figure out how to because I want to mount it flush. I don't want to mount it where there's an empty space between, I guess. So I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna have to cut it this size here, and then so it gets it flush. And I'm gonna figure something out to make it sit in locked in position. So we'll get that here started here in a second. It's all this kind of thing right there. So again, I'm gonna open this up for you so you can see. Here we have that empty space, as I mentioned right here, where this can pop off. So let me see if I can do it again. There we go, it pops off. What we have under here, there's a wire for the audio here, but I gotta disconnect two bolts, and then drill it in here, and be very careful so that we don't damage anything that we need. It's necessary. Right now, first being first, I'm gonna push back up here real quick. Or maybe, you know what? I'll do this. I saw a video where you have to push this up. Push up on that. Push up on that, and then open this up right there. Push up, there's 2 tabs here. 2 tabs here. There we go. So it's out of the way there. To the side. As you can see there, it's all exposed. Okay, so the wiring's right here, as you can see. The wiring's right here. I snaked it through big tunnel right here on the side. You just push this down, and you just tuck it away. So I have an excess amount of wires. I was hoping to see if I can find a way to snake it through here, but it looks like I'm gonna have to lift this off, so that we can put the wires through. So there's no room for me to fit these wires through under here, unfortunately. So it's gonna be a little more tedious than I thought. Yeah, so I gotta take these 2 bolts off, bolt off here, 2 bolts off here, and then we're gonna pop it up a little bit so I can feed these wires through underneath it. Tools, man, it makes life easier. on. Right on. It's a 7mm. If you were curious on the beds, so. Almost there. Oh, I think it works, guys. Look, oh shit. I think I got it, guys. I really hope I did. I really hope I did. Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, let's go. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get my head of stuff here, but I think. Oh no, we may have not. Oh yeah, we got it. I see it. Okay. Alright, guys, bear with me here. My camera decided to record in slow mo, so no audio. But here, as you can see, I took the bolts off in the center console, and I was able to lift it up a little bit so I can snake the wires to the side underneath the handbrake. I've seen previous videos where they have to lift the entire center console and run through the wires through the middle of the freaking car. So here, we're not doing that. Here, I'm actually aligning it with what it looks like with the center console closed. And it looks pretty darn clean, man. So bear with me here. And here I'm actually snaking the rest of the wire for the gauge through underneath the center console. It's a little tedious, but I was able to figure it out. It wasn't too bad. I'm just glad that I didn't have to, take the entire center console out, because that's a pain in the ass, at least for me. I mean, I'm trying just to lie to make sure everything's fit underneath in the carpet in the center, because I didn't want any wires exposed from the passenger side view, when my passengers get in the car. So I'm really big on that. So here I'm double checking, making sure that when I put the lid back on the center console, the wires cleared with no issues and everything, was back in place. Now I'm trying to figure out how much I need to cut it, because I didn't want it to sink all the way through. With that being said, now I'm adjusting the leather part of the e-brake. I had some slight trouble putting it together because of the wires that were left, but I was able to, anyways, put it back together. So here, again, I'm just making sure I'm drawing a little circle just to make sure it's aligned centered, because the last thing I want happening is me drilling it and be off-centered and I'll be pissed. So I was just very careful, taking my time with the drill, making sure that, again, it's centered when I start drilling. I was concerned about getting into any wires underneath, so I made sure all the wires from the gauge were put tucked away a little bit, so that I wouldn't cause any damage to that, because it's the last thing I want. So you start seeing me here drill a little bit. I'm just double checking, make sure it's centered. It was not centered, so I had to drill another hole next to it. Then after that, I just gave the full beans, man. And it looks like it's going through. It's taking my time. Again, you don't want to go too fast and, go through it quick and mess up the wires underneath, because that's the last thing I need to fix any wires. Again, I'm here just taking my time, just keep drilling. And then, so I'm a little nervous, but we're getting through this here, because I hate cutting up any cars, so hacking them up. And it looks like we're through here now. So I'm over here panicking, just making sure it goes all the way through, reversing it out. And I'm looking underneath to make sure everything's still connected. I was like, okay, let's go. Let's give it the full beans now, and we're through. That was nerve-wracking for me. So now I'm going to take it out of its original state. I'm going to go deburr it on the sides and figure out. Well, now I'm vacuuming. Shout out to my wife. She bought me this vacuum for Christmas, and it did its job, picking up all the rest of the plastic pieces. I did trim some of the foam, you can see there, which is not a big deal. But making sure I drill the right hole, make sure the gauge fit correctly, and mount it back in its spot. And look at that. It clears the center console, and I'm very happy, because that was my biggest concern. All right, so here I took the pod out of the of its center circle. I ended up finding the plastic piece that the gauge came with, and used that to screw it in, so it's mounted properly. It's not loosey goosey, as I say, but it still is a little bit. So what I ended up doing here, I'm trying to figure it out and see if I can tighten it more, but I think that's maxed out how much I can tighten up there. So what I decided to do next is I have some double-sided tape here. As you can see, I'm taking it apart. and I'm just gonna cut a big roll and kind of go around it, the gauge, so that it could sit a lot more flush. And I didn't capture it on the camera, but I ended up deburring the cut that I made on the silver cover so that it'll fit a little more flush. So I was able to finally take the tape on. I'll take it off the roll and put it on the gauge. So you can see I'm just taking my time, putting it around it. And I just want to ensure it's all the way flush. Again, you don't want none of this glue adhesive to be out of the center console. Yeah, and just take your time with it. So here I have the double-sided tape already inserted into the silver cover. Make sure it's aligned. I'm just going to put it back in before I screw it on. It looks like it's flush. So now at this point, I'm going to put that plastic bracket that the gauge came with in the box, just for, you know, safety measures. It is a little more wider than the center console, so you have to kind of maneuver it when you insert it. And here I'm just double checking. Looks good. I'm shaking it around. It's pretty in there, man. It's snug in there. It's not going to fall apart when you're doing a pull. Now what I'm doing, I'm connecting the wires back to the pod of the gauge. And after we connect it, I finally decide to insert it. And once I insert it, I just take my time. Again, here I'm inserting the gauge into the console, and it fits like a glove. Again, I'm just double checking, make sure that it's not loose. I'm shaking it vigorously. No issues here. It clears the center console. That's not in my way when I'm shifting. Again, I'm just reattaching the leather. I don't know what you call this part for the handbrake, so the wires are not exposed, I guess. You will have a little trouble with the wiring, but I ended up figuring out the following day. Just got to play with it, take your time. All right, now here, I'm just showing you what it looks like when it's installed. We're going to turn the accessory mode on. It says here, or heel, whatever, the way you read that. I take this time when it turns on. And whenever the car's on, which I did not turn on here because it was probably like 1 in the morning when I was working on this at night. And I did not want to wake up my neighbor's kids or my kid. So this is what it looks like for now.
Tomorrow.
That's the first cold start with the gauge. So let's get it started, man. So there's the gauge, guys. There you go, guys. Look at that, it's working. Awesome. Then we'll get a Jeremy's tools. I'll be right back. The car retunes once I get more mods on the car, like the intake, air manifold, and possibly E85 for injectors. But it's really nice to have when they're tuning the car. So it's running about 15 stoichiometrics, so stoic, 15 stoic, so it's not too bad.
A few moments later.
Oh, is this the interior of a 06?
Mm-hmm. Let's see the gauge from here.
Yeah.
Does it work? Turn it on.
Turn
the audio on. I gotta fix the audio settings.
It's not turning on now.
There you go, guys. Now it's working.
Woohoo! It says
Here.
here.
It loads up all the way when the car's there. You go see.
So what is it reading?
It's written nothing right at 19 right now because it's probably the fumes from earlier.
But what does that mean?
The air to fuel ratio, bro. 15 is like the optimal one.
What is it going to go to when you start it?
14, 15. Here. Let me show
It's
you.
at 20.
20 is when it's too rich. And diesel.
So what do you do when it's too rich? You gotta go get it tuned?
Yeah. There you go, 13. 16, 15. There you go. You go faster?
That's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Turn it off real quick. It turns off. Power's off. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
A lot of people have it here. Right here. There's a gauge cluster you put right here, the pod. Or right here on the filler.
Yeah, I seen the ones that clamp right here.
Yeah, which it's cool. I just wanted it to be different since this one didn't have any it was just blank space.
Yeah, you filled it up.
So just got back from showing my sister and my brother-in-law the new gauge. The wire was loose, so I put it back in its place and it's working now. But now I have another issue. So now, this wire, I zip tied it for now. I don't know if you can see that or not. But that vacuum line is for the NPP exhaust. So technically, I don't need it to work. But I ended up zip tying it for now. But I think today I'm going to go stop by the store to pick up a new line so I can insert that today. So it can look like a really clean engine bay. Right now it looks super clean. So actually I might have to wipe this down a little bit, but other than that, it looks pretty spot on. See you on the next one.